Hello everyone, Mrs. Gigi here. I just felt I needed to do some crafty things, so here I am. Why not just turn on the camera and, do things together with all of you instead of just sitting here all by myself doing this. So, had a little bit of a fall inspiration this morning and let's see what we can do. I was thinking about doing something with this cover for the journal, so yeah, we will start with that really. Going to use these two somehow, and then let's think. I wouldn't say that I would slow stitch the whole thing, but I will definitely hand stitch it. All the way through here, creating some sort of edge. So let's just start. At least in my mind it looks really nice. And it might be that I'll just have the opportunity to do something creative and not necessarily the end result that counts. Kind of feels like that sometimes, and the process is a part of it too, I would say. So let's think about this for a minute. I had this piece of, I don't even know what to say. It is peachy with all of these dots. I've had it for, I don't even know how long, a couple of months. But I don't like it. And then I've saved it and I felt like I needed to do something. So let's do it. With me saying I don't like it, it's almost like I need to kind of use it because maybe I will come up with something more interesting to begin with than other times. Like me not really using certain colors because I don't like them, but who knows? It might be beautiful in the end if I just use them. So the thing that I will do is kind of do a little bit of detaching this, cutting and do all kinds of things. It will be, but the final result will appear. So we'll just have to figure out how much of this needs to be used. And of course it's intricate and everything, but that's just how it is. So I could have used the sewing machine, of course, but no. I today felt that I just needed to do a little bit of slow stitching. And it might be that I gathered up the little lace here just to create some sort of something. And of course cut it along the edges and whatever to be able to have the final result. I'm thinking these two will go as fall. Still here in Sweden at least there are a lot of green, but I would say within 2 weeks it will be the big difference. The big difference, definitely. It actually might be, let's think, I would say mid-September or at least the beginning of October. It could be snow. You'll never know. It wasn't like that last year, but some years it is snow in the beginning of October, so, and quite a lot of it too. What happened last year, I have no clue. It is up to the point where they were actually kind of, to be totally honest, maybe a week of proper snow. Other than that, it was just slush. Hello, Time Lord. Oh, no worries at all. Thank you for stopping by. It was just me, you know, with the thinking of starting up a live like this, because I felt I needed to just sit here doing a thing or two. And with all my American friends, I'm not really sure. It might be none in here, but I don't mind. An early morning for all my American friends on the East Coast, so let's see. Have a wonderful rest of your day, Time Lord. So I'm thinking at least, yeah, 1/3 of it done, because I will have to gather the fabric here in a bit. The beauty of doing something like this is that nobody but all of you will know the process. I absolutely had a good summer. It was a beautiful summer, a lot of activities and all kinds of things, of course. But this summer was a little bit extra special with everything going on for a number of reasons, really. So just a little bit of a twist here. Let's see, of course there was a knot on here, like so half the way through it all, I would say. And then we will have to think about the actual cover itself. What do we want to put on it? Because it is too bare just looking like this. Definitely. It needs something else. Usually I just put things, on the actual cover throughout the month. But I felt it needed to be decorated right away. It might be like the fall vibes, like snowing, and I wouldn't say a cozy book by the fireplace, but something like that kind of came into my mind. Let's see, I don't want to have that fold. We'll have to kind of figure the fold part out. Let's see, do a little smaller type stitch. I have to remember that I will gather the fabric here or the lace in a bit, so I don't really need more than, I would say, 3 inches extra. But it is a little fiddly with all of these type things. So why do I use these with silver polka dots? To be totally honest, it was there. It was kind of fall themed in a way. It's peachy, but it's more fall to me than summer. Maybe a little bit too I don't know. I don't really know. And when looking into what I use, I kind of feel sometimes that what is the proper use for it. You know, it's a lace with silver polka dots. Like, who would ever use such a thing on something? That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I wonder if I need a new thread. Let's see, just gather the little lace parts. And I was at one point thinking, what about just using glue? Because glue is way more efficient. But then again, I do like the slow stitched version more, even though it takes a little bit more of extra time to do these things. See, I do definitely need to figure this one out. Let's put it this way, it's easier. So we have the lace part like that, gathered it up. I can definitely see that I need to cut a bit of it off, like that. Maybe doing a little more, just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit more. And then an extra knot on the back, so something along these lines, let's think. There. Like that, an extra knot on the back. Hello, Danny. Welcome, welcome. Do a thing like that. It's safe and sound. It will be able to cut it off. So, am I going to gather the thing like that? Is that more? Yeah, I would say I like that even more. So, glue. We need a lot of glue. Of course, yet again, I could have sewn it on, but no, not this specific thing. I would just save the effort of doing something like that. So, can you make me blue? Of course I can. You know, here over at the crafty community, we always say that we have the blue dress. So, yeah, we can definitely look into that. I don't know, if a blue dress, it might be a blue blazer or something instead of the dress for you, Danny. I just have to do this before the whole thing dries. That's the thing. Like that. Gather the lace. It might actually be that I zigzag the lace afterwards. I tend to not do that on camera because it's a little bit of a hassle having the sewing machine on live on camera like that. But I definitely have to do this before this dries. How you would, it might be a nice thing for you. Let's look into few things here. I do need more glue before doing such a thing though. I'm thinking here that there will be several things on this cover apart from that. Just cutting it off, leaving it to dry before I do anything else. Let's see. I will definitely have to leave it. I would just cut that one off a tiny bit. Maybe I'm thinking a slow stitch or a zigzag down these things. So the rest of this I have no clue what to do with as of right now. It might be that I add it in the journal later on. And adding these. I was at one point thinking this might be it. To me, I don't know, cocoa, is that an American thing? I think cocoa might be the American thing. But that will represent coffee. I definitely drink cocoa, but when it comes to all kinds of things, I prefer coffee or maybe tea. I would say maybe tea. I'm not too, I don't know, cocoa might be just a tiny bit too sweet. That might be it. I tend to think about sweet things. I don't know. I don't like too much of sweet things, really. I am more into proper, like 85 or 90% like proper cocoa chocolate peas or something like that. Let's see, been running around like headless headless chicken trying to get my are you stressful, is it? Well, don't stress too much, it's not good for your health. Let's see what we can do. With things happening all around us, you know, I have definitely been I kind of had to think a little bit extra about the stress situation, really. Going in here just to cut that one off, the whiteness in between, but it won't really show because we will glue it together in the end. The hot cocoa or coffee, am I going to make it darker? I would say I prefer it to be darker, representing the coffee, so we will do that. Even though it might not be the coziness of September for some of you. I do realize that I have forgotten to take the coffee into the craft room with me today. It might just be that I just came up with the idea of doing this. So Earl Grey tea, I do drink. If it, if thinking tea, I definitely drink Earl Grey. Um, but I prefer coffee. I think that's the with the Swedish fika, coffee is the way to go, kind of thing. So I'll definitely make this darker, representing the thing that I like drinking. Hello, Kevin. Welcome, welcome. So, like I said to all the American viewers, to the on the other side of the world, really. I know it's early morning, so to tell the truth, I'm more into coffee. Which, do you dare to say that if you're English? I don't know. Do when thinking, Britain, it's tea or nothing. It might be, anyways. So we definitely have to figure out this thing. Am I going to fussy cut all of these? Apparently I am. So you will have to bear with me doing these things. A couple of fall leaves, of autumn leaves. I realized earlier this morning when I went for a walk, it is slowly but surely turning into beautiful orangey yellow tones, and it's nice. I do love that we have all 4 seasons, because some of you don't, which I'm kind of, yeah, it's always a difference with that, but I'm really glad that I have the opportunity to experience all of them, all the 4 seasons. Even though I don't really like fall when it's all like gray and things. Or is that a charming thing too? It might be. The teaser, yeah. I would say in England or like in Great Britain as a whole, tea is very special. It might even be that if you talk about it, I would say it's almost like talking to somebody about politics or religion or, something like that. Talking tea, maybe jam and all those kinds of things. So at least I've started the journal. I've actually decorated it a little bit inside. I've done I haven't placed all the dates, but I have them here. So that's the thing that we are going for today. I'm thinking about matting, uh, putting something on the back here, because there is a lot of color and a lot of patterns going on. So with that, I'm trying at least to do something, because I want the whole thing to show. So that's kind of why. actually thinking there. Doing it a little closer. So am I going to use brown, a brown piece of paper just to be able to have the whole thing show a bit more? Let's see, my mom likes tea a lot. She has tea, you know, I do have tea, coffee, cocoa, you know, you kind of have to have all of those kinds of things because you'll never know when you have a visitor. Okay, I'm going to get a brown piece of paper. Or maybe just a darker piece. I don't really like maybe gray might be nice. Or let's think, a darker orange. Because I do like the whole thing to show a little bit better though. Let's try out with the gray. Or am I mistaken? It might not be nice to do these. Let's think. Double piece. And I do want the darker one of the grays, do I? That's not, I like the darker gray. Probably have used up all the brown. Have I really? Or is it that it's kind of, no, we will just go with it really. Like that. Maybe cut this bigger one out. And then of course you always tend to go with what if I had this, what if I had that, but I, as of right now, only have these things to play with, so that's what I'm going to use. The beauty of just learning to use what you have, it's kind of hard sometimes. It is. You know, you can always buy all kinds of fun crafty materials, but it's not the I can only speak for myself in doing it, but because you know I know a lot of people are kind of hoarding things, which might not be the thing that you like. I have done that in the past. To be truthful, I have. But I've also, I would say in this year, thrown away a lot of things, which I'm grateful for because you can't really save up on everything. It's better to just do the thing that you have. We have these ones, and with digital pieces like this, the beauty is, of course, there are a couple of, I in my case would say, gigabytes that I've kind of had from way back. But I have them in on my computer, and I tend to just print them out and use things when I need them. So I always have them, which is kind of nice. And I have a lot. I have several gigabytes, so I don't really need to buy anything extra. You were watching Dolly Parton videos reminding you of Becca. uh, it, I'm a bit confused now, Time Lord. oh, with the. Did it also remind you of Dane? I don't know what to respond to that really in terms of what you're thinking about, but yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. Have you heard anything from Becca really? I know that she went up visiting her relatives, was it? Or her gran? I haven't really heard anything. But I have the dinosaur, or the dragon, ready to be used, or turning him into a dragon. Really, that's the main thing for the next couple of weeks in the diorama creation that me and Becca is doing. So oh, the accent. Oh, okay. uh, it, yeah, I can definitely see. Yeah, I can definitely see what you mean there. No worries. I was just a tiny bit confused with. Yeah. So, let's look into. I definitely know that my accent has changed a lot since, meeting up with all the American friends. I can definitely see my accent has gone from a British accent to something in between, and I have no clue what. I don't want to say that I like it, but it's totally different from before. I do look into using these black little berries. Hello, hello, Vanessa. Welcome, welcome. Good morning to you. How are you? Did you have a good weekend up until now? Mine has been wonderful. Haven't really done too much. Been outside a lot. Been inspired by nature. That's what I've been kind of feeling, especially with fall, because there is so many colors all around, and the temperatures are really, really nice. They are. So it's actually been up to, I don't know, like, was it 20 degrees? And when thinking, and I'm not really kidding here, within 3 weeks it could be snow. So usually this time of year it's kind of cold or getting colder. So having like 20 degrees Celsius is really nice. I know. Fall is American and autumn is yeah. I'm debating with myself, Time Lord, when it comes to certain words, believe me. but it might be that I've been around Americans more than British people the last couple of years. It's also really fun, and I know that I'm not the only one, but looking at all the videos online comparing English in American English and like British English, it's really fun to look at. It really is. Oh, raining. Oh, that doesn't really sound too fun, Vanessa. It doesn't at all. Or it's been sunshiny, but it's getting colder. Last week it was like 25 degrees Celsius, but today it was only like 19, 20, something along those lines. Let's see, I'm actually going to put that one there just to have it closed. Am I going for cutting these? No, I'm not. I will definitely cut another of these little berries away from, because I like them. So at least there is something happening to this journal. I know for a fact that I will have a way more time with this one than the August one, because at the start of the school year there is always so many things that you have to prep for the whole term. So I didn't really have too much time at all in August doing anything. Funny thing, when I'm online, I type American words a lot because I presume they are. Oh, you are? Um, I'm kind of thinking the same thing with me. And now when thinking that, I don't know. It might have to change. It, no, not really. But yeah, I haven't really thought about that. Like, of course, there are a lot of things. Well, yeah, actually thinking about it now, it's kind of fun how we use different kinds of words. And me sometimes thinking, like, you know, usually I kind of think Swedish. Sometimes I feel like I want to speak Swedish but then write in English. So, yeah, it's a whole whirlwind of things going on in my mind. And then, of course, there are other languages too in the family. So it's a whole twist of, I wonder if the people that I'm speaking to actually, understand me. And with that, I actually realized when being away in, like, I was all the way across Europe this summer, speaking all kinds of languages, realizing when I came back to Sweden, haven't really been speaking Swedish for it was only like a month, or was it like 5 weeks? I realized that I kind of forgotten about certain Swedish words, and that was hilarious to me, because coming back to work, I was like, oh, I know that word. I definitely know it. But what? Like thinking, like, I know the word, but I don't know it in Swedish. And then I had to like think hard to remember it again. And JJ, the same way, I think. Oh, yep, I can imagine that, Vanessa. Yep. But it's really nice to be able to have different languages, to have them all around you and to be able to speak all different languages too, because not everyone can do that. So, but with all of the friends online like this, there's definitely the English that will go, like most people will understand. So, what about this thing though? We will place that there. There, we need to have a thing or two down here. Do we want to have a leaf or do we want to? I'm actually looking at this one. It's a little bit other, like, or let's think. The acorny type. No, I don't like those. A pumpkin. It might be fall for some, but for me it is definitely not. For me, I don't know. It might be more October. Let's look into using that leaf. I like the size and I like the whole thing with that. I don't know if it is visible, but it's like small little dots on it. So how are we going to do with this? Are we going to just attach it on the actual cover, or are we going to use the paper, or are we going for white? Because there are white things like that. Oh, you had to learn, yeah. I learning a new language can actually be hard. But did you learn it like you when you were a kid, Vanessa? You must have. Because learning it as a kid, it's way better than having to learn a new language as an adult. Just referring to what I have, like within my family, there's all kinds of languages. And with one of my daughters now learning a new one, being an adult, you can definitely do that, but she thinks it's really hard or harder than she thought it would be. Now when looking into this, should I use the ink just to emphasize the... No, I'm not. I am not. I'm gonna leave the ink out of the cover. So French is yeah, that's definitely to me a hard language to understand and learn. I don't know. Or is it? Uh, that's at least what I'm thinking. Like, because I do have German in my family, or Swiss German or Swiss German, and Spanish, and Swedish, of course, English, and Dutch. So, yeah, there is a whole bunch of things going on in my mind sometimes. Let's think, like a link I'm learning. I'm speaking. Are you going? What? Are you going to send something to Time Lord? I don't know. I don't really have a link to send you, or was it like you wanted to explain the whole thing live, Vanessa? I don't really have a link to send you, do I? Thinking here, like I use OBS on my computer to do this as of right now, as of today, so I don't really have a link. Let's see, putting that one over there because I don't want to cover that. Putting the leaf there. Putting, let's see, there is a whole situation here. Yep, it will just be a whole bunch of glue like this. Just the tiniest bit of glue. Placing the coffee cup as it is there. And the one of the leaves, just to place them down a little bit, and then of course put more glue. Do I want, no, I felt like I wanted that one there. The back, I do want to have it, let's see, like that. And then the more glue, just a little bit. The one over here, that one down here, I don't want to have it glued down totally as of yet. Let's think, twist it a little tiny bit. The blackberries, do you want to have them over at that one, like there? Oh, there might be nicer to have them. And like that, and then we do have to have something over here now when I've kind of done a little bit of it adjusting to the thing. I do want to have them over here in the back kind of thing. There is somebody at the door. One of the cats are actually wanting to be in here. I'm going for small little berries on the bottom part of this here. One of my cats, especially Luna, she likes to be together with me in the craft room. She has her own little spot here in one of my shelving units. So usually when she hears me in here, she wants to be with me. And she has been on camera before, but you know, she likes to just lay here straight on the actual table, and it's not possible when having a live stream. It is not. With all the things going on, like with glues and paint and whatever. We do need something else. Something else down here. Maybe just a little piece of a leaf sticking out. Let's just cut it out straight out of the paper like that. Just do a little kiss cutting of this. The print, I have no clue, Vanessa. You know, I've had all kinds of printables for years on the computer. So, yeah, with thinking years in this case, I would definitely say maybe 5+ years. Even like, let's see, I've done this for, is it 6 years or something like that? Yeah, over 6 years. So I unfortunately I don't really know exactly where I've got this one from, but it's a printable, and it's just the recent years that I've been kind of, you know, doing some sort of kind of organizing on the computer. Before that, I just had them in categories like fall, summer, spring, you know, things like that. So I didn't really bother to have all the designers and all the, you know, all the names for the actual thing, because I'm not really using it other than for myself. So I didn't really feel that I needed to have all the names and things, because if you sell your journal, you have to be able to tell. But because I'm not really selling journals anymore, you needed that one. Yeah, I don't know what to say. If I had the name, you would definitely have it, but maybe if you search on Pinterest, I probably, you know, you can find all kinds of things on Pinterest. So maybe, but I'm not sure. And yeah, so unfortunately with this, I have no clue, because I don't really sell journals. I don't really need the names. I don't have to be able to tell where all the things are from, which you are if you're going to sell them. I'm actually going to cut a bit of this out. And because I don't want it to be too white, just a little bit up here too. To me, this printable is really nice. It is fall vibes, but it's not too fall for me. It is a cozy little, no, just a little bit of something. It's again a lot of glue just to hold all of these small little bits and pieces into place. And some of you might use Mod Podge on these, and I won't, at least not now, because I don't know if I will add things on here as I go throughout the month. If I do, there will definitely be a Mod Podge situation at the end of the month, because in that case I can kind of save all the small little edges and things. So yet again, I don't want to fold it too much because I don't want to have a bend in the paper, so that's why. but I kind of like it a lot like this. It makes the whole journal come to life in a sense. And we do need to have this one in place, and the berries. Let's think here. These ones, are we going to cut them off? Use only a part of them maybe? Yeah. This one. Just 2 or 3 of them. Just to have them poke out underneath. Going to cut this little berry off. Twisting it around just to have it placed in these. Let's see, can I just have a tiny bit of roundness? At least it looks a little bit better like that. And this, the intricate part of this thing. And should I just, let's see, do a version of the berry here? I don't like that it's that long. I will just place it on the, twist it the other way, of course. Like that. Is that the way to go on the cover? It makes me feel better in terms of liking the cover. This cover definitely needs something else too. Something up here. It might be added later on. I will leave it for now. It is not too full. Yeah, that's definitely not too fully of. So, yeah. It's this one with the cocoa. I turned it into coffee, and it's these. And these will be used throughout the journal together with these. Yeah, probably. Or I will throw them away. So that is it for the cover as of right now. I'm thinking here, should I go with something other than yeah, we'll have to think about that R because you cannot see it anymore. I know one thing that I need to do. I've done these throughout the whole month. I need to glue them down to their pages, and so that is the thing that we need as of now. Really too fun to watch maybe, but that's the thing that we have to do. And not all things, not all creative things are fun, that's for sure. Let's see if we can just place the number 5 and number 6. I need to erase that. I don't like, I tend to just write the numbers just to be able to remind myself, really. So this one is the bag that will be yesterday really. I'm thinking like what date it is, but so today we have the other side of the bag, erasing that number 7 there. And placing, let's think, do we want to have yeah, I think over here at the corner. Like, or am I going, yeah, I'm thinking down there. I don't know why, it just felt like it. Number 9. So is it 30 days? 30 days in September. Number 10. I've rearranged the days a little bit. I added, in things that I had, and I have all of these, things that I definitely need to add into the journal to use things up again. I would say 2025 is one of those years. Use up what you have, or don't use it at all. In my case, it means like if you haven't used it, just throw it in the garbage can or the bin. That's like where I am at the moment. Trying at least to do a little bit of cleaning up. Number 13 and number 14. And for those that don't know, this journal, I would say once a week or so I will go through and do a thing or two in this one, but it will be finished by the end of the month. All the year, this year and next year you will do it, and then by the end of next year then I will oh, that's really nice. Like some of you know, I did a whole bunch of digital art, and with that came a lot of gigabytes of fun things. Of course, they don't really take up too much space in your home in that sense, but there is space that needs to be saved on the computer too. But now I have the recent years to blame on how my craft room is looking. I'm glad it's not, it's only in the craft room, and other parts of the house is a little bit more minimalistic. Number 18 and 19 it is. Follow your heart. I've apparently put on this page. And I've kind of prepped the pages. I'm not sure that I like them all, or at least not all of them, but we'll have to do. Let's see, 21, apparently 18 at one point, but it's kind of turning into page 21. I don't want that glue booger being there. So these small little pages will be extra, and I have a thing that I want to do on that page over here, so we will look into that later on. So sometimes on these pages I do write a bit, sometimes I just do a little creative thing, and sometimes I actually leave them and just add, like I've done, like here. I've written on the back side of this, but I've kind of left this actual page because I like it a lot.
But I've done an ATC card here to remind myself of the day. This is the creative thing. I'm not really finished, but I've written a little bit on there. And sometimes I also put photos. I tend to do photos after I've shown it online because, you know, I don't want to show everything online, like pictures of friends and pictures of things that has happened throughout the month. I tend to just save up on that for personal reasons and put photos in afterwards. So I will sometimes just leave a whole page blank. Usually I use this Prit glue or Uhu glue, and I would say they last. They last a lot. Like, let's think. I don't have a journal, an old one here at the moment. I don't think. Let's see. It's 2025. I don't really think that I have. I've put away a whole bunch of journals, so I don't have the oldest ones here. But then again, I don't you know I don't tend to look through them a lot. Maybe, you know, just if there was something special that we talk about, kind of thing, with then I can go look into it a certain year. But I remember looking at one like from 2021, and it was just still the same. But I can definitely say that I don't know if it might be like the temperatures or yeah, it is different if you use different kinds of glue throughout summer and winter time. It's definitely a thing. So this one, this is just like a journaling card. Do I want to have it? Yeah, I think I want to have it rounded. I can definitely see that it's not straight, so we will at least try to do something about that. Rounding the corners a little bit just to do something. As of right now, I have no clue what happens there at the end of the month, so I will leave that. But now, let's think. We are into this page. Are we going with life is beautiful? Life is really beautiful. Do I like that? Memories. And I'm looking into using these things. I've had them for I don't even know how long. These, I'm thinking, yeah. I know that for a fact that I didn't glue them down like proper 100% onto the actual surface. They are definitely holding, and I think I made them like 3 years ago. I didn't glue this one down because I sometimes when doing these kinds of things I don't want to have them, you know, proper down to the actual surface. I want to have them a little flippy floppy. You will have to start, you know, the test, the barely glue. I don't know, glitter glue and barely glue. I don't know what to say about those, or if it has to do with all with the temperatures and things, because I've heard both positive and negative things about those. Was thinking about adding this one here and having it as, do I want to have them? Yeah, I like that it's pink here and it's pink over here with the flowers. So in this case, I think this is just an envelope or something that I've just painted on. Reusing all junk mail, which unfortunately we don't have junk mail here anymore. I am a little bit sad about that, to be truthful. So with that, and now I think we do need, am I going with that? Yeah, I kind of like this. So let's see, creating a little tag to go with the actual page, like that. Is it too wide? Maybe. No, it's not. Do I like that? No. We do have to figure this one out together. I don't like the sizing, so we'll just change it a little bit. The beauty of being able to do something like that. Not always able to change it. That's much better. They don't ship art glitter. Oh, I think it was Mary that had like hers up on a shelf for, I don't even know, like it was almost a year, and when she opened it up, it was, I don't know, it was almost like 100% hard. She couldn't really use it at all. And yet again, I don't know if that has to do with the temperatures and the climate and things, because that could be. I'm just going with a little hole here because I'm thinking that I want to have some sort of fabric. Am I going with, let's see. I'm going to try it out. Just because we used it today, that's a little bit of a, no, I don't know. Yeah, just because we used it today, it might be that I use this on the tag. So with having fabric in your journal like this, it's creating bulk. The beauty of bulk is that you get an alligatory mouth journal. I do love an alligatory mouth one, because that to me is, you know, you have kind of shown your journal appreciation throughout the month, just leaving it flat like this. It's a little bit of a change. I did 2 journals back in January. I did a writing journal. It was flat. Look at this one. I've never ever done a journal this flat. I decided maybe the second week that I wasn't going to just create this, because I felt like, oh, I need another version of January journal. This one, now looking into this, I love the way it turned out, writing like this with all Dutch doors and things. I really like that a lot. With the flips and the flops and whatever you like to call it, but I do like the Dutch doors. But then again, it was just a little bit too flat for me, so yeah. I needed another one,
and I created the to me a normal journal. So this yet again is one of the more normal journals to me. I am trying to figure out a way to cover Wednesday's little thing here. Am I going to just put a flower or something, or a leaf or something on? Maybe some of these. I'm gonna cut them out and try them out. That's where we are going. Just to be able to hide it a little bit, this little brad thingy. With writing journals, like you have seen my journals several years, Vanessa, and yeah, it depends on the actual month, but I tend to just add in things that makes them bulky. I do write on every page, just a little bit of something that has happened throughout the day. Nothing really that I can't share because I don't use them as a diary per se. I just write a little something fun from the day. So yeah, I tend to just have things that represent the day instead of the text. And I have tried out a lot of things. Magazine pages and clippings from a magazine can also be one way. I did do that for a long time, just had magazine and didn't really write anything, and I glued in things that would represent the day instead. With that, it definitely created a lot of bulk. It was fun, but no, yeah. Now I think I do a little combo of that. Definitely. So let's see if we can kind of cover things up here and do a little twist on there, like some sort of something. I have this little thing here. I will cut it out as a whole, maybe to be able to use this whole thing to cover the back of the brad. And with adding brads and adding fabrics and flips and things, there is always bulk. The month has already just, it's just started, but it's all almost immediately this one is bulky. And I don't know, to me fall time is a little bit more cozy, and with that comes all kinds of fabrics and lace and all those kinds of things. So that might be why this is already a little bit much, even though that has only been 7 days so far, only a week. But I couldn't really imagine it. Like one of my sons said the other day, it's almost Christmas. And I was like, no, not already. Proper fall time haven't, been here. So that needs to happen before Christmas.
let's think here. We need to do something like that. We need to put that one there. That will kind of cover it up. No one will never ever notice. This needs a bit of glue. This is Eileen's tacky glue. Even though I haven't really, I don't know, something happened to to the the cover thingy, and I decided just to take it off. Eileen's tacky glue might be my go-to with using wet glue. Other than that one, I don't really like using wet glue. We'll go with the print glue stick on here. The usual paper makes I know print glue stick really nice, but when using all kinds of other things, like this brad needs to be covered, can't really go with just a proper paper version of glue. Just have this one glued down to the magazine page, and because it is actually drying clear, I don't really mind adding a lot of glue. Just have these a little bit more of a twist, so I will have them there, I would say, on the back side, rather than have them placed like they are. Let's see, twist it again like that, and the brad is underneath there and covered, throughout. I think, and like I'm thinking here, should I? Yeah, I would leave that just for now. I don't know if I will leave it. I kind of like the edge like that. It is really, really fragile, so I don't know. I will leave it for now and then we'll see. So, today I feel like we need to do a thing or two for this little page of ours. We are going with watercolor, are we? Just the, I would say color, not too much water. Or a combination of them. You have a lot to do. You have created all the Christmas cards. Oh, I'm no. To be honest, I don't. It was several years ago. I'm not that much of a card person, and I don't know if that has to do with. I would say like a new tradition here in Sweden, or not a new tradition, but most people don't really send cards anymore here. Our postal service launched like a digital card service, like I think it was like 5 years ago or something. And with that, people started to send their cards in that service. So yeah, I don't know. It must have been something like that, because the last, I would say, definitely 5 years, I haven't really seen like a proper Christmas, like like a traditional Christmas card. I've had maybe I wouldn't say like one or two. It's sad. In a way, it's really sad because getting mail, like like old-fashioned kind of mail, you don't really have anything in the post box anymore. So with that, yeah. Now when thinking about it, it is kind of sad. It is. So with a little bit of reaching here for some brushes and a little bit of color, we will have to start the creation. Let's see. Yeah, but having a proper, even like regular makeup, and I don't know if it's just a Swedish thing, having like a thing coming up apart from packages, like if you order a thing from like Amazon or something, that you can get packages, of course, but other than that, you don't really have too much of any mail. We tend to have them digitally, like all the main companies nowadays here in Sweden, they send it uh, digitally. So you have to, for some of them, you have to like be able to log in because there are some, personal details and things. So you have to be able to log in with a specific ID, like a digital ID that you have, like every citizens here in Sweden have like a special ID. So yeah, other than that, you don't really get mail. I don't know if I'm the one to start a new tradition because usually, and I wouldn't say that I'm young, but when thinking creating like some sort of memorabilia or something with the cards, I'm not that kind of person. I tend to just save them throughout New Year's and then throw them in the bin, kind of. And with that, yeah, I don't know. I don't really like to save up on much of anything because you have so many things, uh, you know, throughout your life really that you can't really save, just save for the sake of saving things. So that's why I'm kind of going through all that I have now, trying to just throw away. Looking at it, asking myself, is this something that you use? And if I say no, most of the times I say no, it will go in the big black plastic bag and then in the bin. So that's kind of where I am at the moment. As some of you know, I have actually saved up the thing that I kind of save up, or some of the journals that I do. I haven't really saved up on every one. I've saved up on special ones just for my kids really. Uh, but I've done several, and I've done several for like DT projects in the past, and yeah, cannot I cannot save them all. So I've kind of thrown them away. And now creating again a new journal. Am I going to save this one? Maybe a year till next September, just to have a little, you know, inspiration, but not longer than that. But I have saved up on special ones for special years that's, you know, been happening, all kinds of things throughout my life that I want to save. And of course with this we have to let it dry a bit, and then what are we going for the background of this thing? I'm thinking kind of bluish. You have thrown lots of your journals away, yeah. To me that's kind of a thing that you have to do, because depending on what they are, of course. But most of the things are not. Do we really have to save? No, I would answer no to that. So adding in a little tiny bit of blue, or trying to create some sort of background effect. And remember, this is only a book page, which makes the whole page itself a little fragile with water, so I need to be a little extra safe on the watery side, just adding in a tiny bit at a time, and not on all the page, as you can see. So maybe I will just have the illusion of a background here. And then we definitely have a thing. Let's see, do I want to have a creation of some more grass, maybe? More grass. Just a little bit of something. So even an old book like this can create the canvas for your whatever you are trying to paint, or even tear the actual page apart and use the page in a collage. That's kind of nice. That's actually really nice. So when being dry, let's see, it is it really? Because I haven't really used too much of any water, I would say it is not, of course, 100% dry, but I want to have this to below 88, is it? Yes, the below 0.88, just to have a little more black into this, adding it in. I will add more in when it's totally dry, but just to do a little extra on some of the details here. Maybe just outlining the actual mushroom. not necessarily anything fancy, but you know, it's just a little thing. So that each and every one of you can definitely see it is. I don't know about the English name for this kind of mushroom, or like whatever it's. Yeah, I know the Swedish one. Um, like that. So it's there, and I don't know if I will create a thing on the other side or do a collage. This will dry, so you won't really see too much of this. I just felt with the combination of the back colors here, I wanted to create this thing on this page, on this side of the page, I would say. Like that. So this one was Thursday. This one was Friday. Did anything fun happen Friday, Saturday, and today? Yep. We will at least create today. Will we thinking now? Should we go with markers? And it's a yes for that. These are, for those of you wondering, I have several colors. I'm thinking this one, Paper Mate. I don't know if they are special. In a way they are. I like them a lot. You can. I'm going to show you. I've shown them before and I've used them several times. I don't have an actual whole package here. For those of you wondering, I have these two. These are literally from the kids section in the store. I think they were like $2. Yeah, two or like $2.50 or something like that. You can definitely use these from the kids section. These are a little bit more expensive. The Paper Mates, but yeah, we'll go with those. Just to create a faux stitching all the way around. And for some of you, it might be that you want to sew. I've sewn around several times before, slow stitched around, meaning hand sewn around too. So yep, I can do all kinds of things. For this I'm just going with the marker, just going all the way around. Being able to write a thing or two, am I? Of course we are. And I don't know, I was out on a walk this morning. Am I going to write a bit of that, or like the inspiration of all the nature around me, because that is why I felt I needed to go live today. And maybe, let's see, using this one again, a green one. And are we going as far as using some of the things on here? Let's see. Saving bits and pieces from the ATC cards. I usually do that in wanting to be able to use them throughout the journal. Yeah, we can use that one. Another coffee cup. The beans. What are those? Those. I don't know. They look more like something else than any beans. Am I going? Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I kind of like this pumpkin more than any of the others. Let's see. I like this thing though. Yeah, I will definitely not use everything, will I? See, it might be that I cut it out and then decide no. But we'll have to try. And then of course, when looking into the placement of things, let's see, going in like this. I'm just going to try it out for now, so I won't do any fussy cutting per se, just a little try out cut and then do the more detailed cut afterwards if I decide that I want to have it on the tag. Just trying it out to me means a little bit more of a kiss cut, not a detailed cut all the way around all the leaves, just some of them. Kiss cut, for those that don't know, it means that you, I don't know if it has to do with you don't really have all the details or it's not too close. It's just, you know, a little bit of cutting. I'm thinking like this, and then something here. And me thinking, yeah, kind of like that. Or am I going off the tag? Just a little bit like that. And in this case, am I going pumpkin already? I think I am, because I like the chocolatey or whatever it is, but no, we have used the one that I like the most, the bigger one on the front cover, so we might actually go pumpkin. I don't really do pumpkins in September, do I? How I use OBS? Yeah, we can definitely talk about that sometimes. Yeah, it's not that tricky. I would say that there are so many things that you can do with it. I don't necessarily use all of them, of course, because yeah, but we can definitely go through that. There are other, depending on your computer, there are other programs that you can use too, because not all computers can handle OBS with yeah, depending on the memory and the REM and yeah, all kinds of other things. But you can definitely look into that. It makes it way easier to be able to, because you know, I have been making it in the past, like doing streams with my phone. I used to, you know, start out with that, but now when I have my webcam and you know all those kinds of things, it's easier just to have it on the actual computer than going through YouTube doing a stream. You can add all kinds of fancy things, even though I haven't really done that, and I don't know if I will. I will be able to if I want, but not at this moment.
got all kinds of fancy effects and things and extra whatever. Like it is, but it's fun. But I think it's way easier if you have, you know, everything set up. And I do actually have several webcams, which could mean I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about it, having two cameras, two different angles, but I'm not too sure. I am not too sure. So now doing a little bit more of the detail cutting of this thing. And what is that? Do I like it? So going in and around all of these detailed things, and I tend to save up on some of the white bits and pieces just to make it easier on myself. But for instance, this, to me, wide of a thing, I don't like to have it show on the creation. Sometimes I can show you. Sometimes when it's not too white, I go with, in my case, this distressed ink and vintage photo, just to be able to do a little bit of a difference in the whiteness. So I can do it on the back side of that, like literally going, if I don't have the time to do the cutting, or if I don't like to do it, you know, sometimes I don't really like to do the cutting. I don't know if it is visible, but it's not as wide anymore. Like the upper part there, it can definitely go. So you could go with like a distress ink too, just to save up on some time, I would say. In my case, I love do the fuzzy cutting. I don't really have time for it, you know, always. So I'm doing a version of both. So with this glue, did we say all the way up? Not really, did we? Going like that on there. And then, without damaging the little fabricy piece there, throwing that one in, make a little thing. Yep, like that. Going there. Have the pumpkin here. Do we need a thing or two? Something else? No, not really. This is intricate. Now I wish that I would find my glue. Where do I have them? These fancy mats, you know. I have them somewhere, of course. Somewhere here in the room. I think I've kind of found one at least. Let's see. It's not even washed since last time I did use it, but it makes the whole process easier if you have one of these mats. And yep,
you can wash them, which is also really nice to be able to. Have I washed them? No, of course not. Like that. Let's see, let's see. Who am I? Just doing this in a hurry. Like that. And we need to twist you around, little thingy. Like that. Yep, it's there. It is not dry, but it's on there. Let's use the other side. And putting you there. The pumpkin that wasn't meant to be used in September, was it? But it was. It is just one of these things that happens. It's there. Do I want to add a thing or two? In this case, I might be adding, I don't know. Just a little bit of something. Down here too. I would say don't forget about all the small little details added throughout. And then the saying, a fall saying. Are we there yet? I don't think so. I will have to think about that. But at least we've done a little bit of something today. Like that. We have created a little part of the cover like this. Added this one. Now when looking at it, I don't know if I will add more to the cover in terms of zigzag stitch, or if I'm just going to leave it. I am debating with myself if I want to do something with the R there for September. But we have created something going on the cover. We have to figure out this part over here for a later date, I would say. We have started the journal in a way. Who am I? Have I just glued the whole thing shut? No, of course not. We have done that thing. We have started it out, covered that. Yeah, we'll leave that for now. Done a little bit here and there. We have actually started this thing. We will have to figure out a quote or something on there, but it is ongoing. September journal. And of course all the dates. So it's prepped, ready to go. And with that, yeah, it has been fun. And yeah, if you want to follow along throughout the month, and next time I will be live will be Wednesday, I would say 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's always been my time for several years. I don't know why. It's a schedule situation. But yeah, 1:30 Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. So with that, have a wonderful rest of your day, and to all the replayers, it's always been nice to have you around, and till next time, bye bye.